Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Hello, welcome. So excited to be here with you all this morning. It's mostly morning. Well, morning for me. I don't know what time zone you're in. Speaking of that, if you want to say a hello in the chat and maybe let us know where you're joining us from, which part of the world. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? Good morning from Tucson. Welcome, Mary Lynn. Glad to have you here. Oh, buongiorno from Rome, Italy. Okay, so it's afternoon for you. Welcome, Josephine. Hi from LA. Boise, Idaho. I'm going to be in Boise in maybe March for a YPO thing. So I'm excited. It'll be my first time. I've never been. Mary from Colorado, welcome. Oregon, flew in from Maryland yesterday. Josie from Philadelphia, welcome, Josie. Glad you're here. Excuse me. Hold on, we got a few more people waiting to get in. Let me add them all. The morning light, I have this gorgeous bay window in my office, but this time of day in the winter, it's funny, I always forget. I'm like half in the shadow, half in the light. It's a metaphor for our spiritual awakening. Okay, Addie, we got Vanessa joining. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to do this with you all today. Um, I'm curious if any of you have done a version of the word of the year with me in the past. You can like raise your hand if you have, or is it brand new for everybody? Okay, I saw some hands. Good morning, Eileen from Toronto. Hello. So nice to have you here. For those of you just joining, if you could be on camera, it would be lovely just because it's nice to feel connected with everyone. Oh, yay, I see some people coming on camera. I know sometimes you don't want to, and sometimes you want to actually like multitask, but we're going to be doing a meditation and a ceremony today. And so it's really not going to be easy to multitask. I would not recommend it. Okay. Oh, Leslie said, yes, you introduced me to it, the word of the year. Amazing. Good morning, Eileen from Toronto. Welcome, welcome. Excellent. All right. So I know we have about 100 people registered for this call, but I know some will be listening to the recording. And oh, Robin, you're here. Robin is my amazing client care specialist. She does all the things behind the scenes. So I'm glad you could make it, Robin. Hi from Calgary. Welcome, welcome. All right. So I'm excited to get this going for you all. Hold on, got a couple folks still joining. As we wait, I'll give another couple minutes for people to join. Let me see. I might shift into the dark shadow. Hold on. This is a little better. Okay. I'd love to hear from a couple of you of like, why did you want to join this call today? What are you hoping to get out of it? What called you to participate? And we have a small enough group. You can unmute yourself and just share. Anybody want to share? Why were you drawn to join today? What about this inspired you? What are you hoping to get out of it?
Vanessa, anything you do is exciting for me. I had such massive shift just by joining your program. Great work you love. So whenever you do something, I'm here.
Yay! Well, thanks, Leslie. I appreciate you being here, and I'm happy to hear that. And I'm excited to introduce the archetype concept today because that's something I've actually never done before. So I'm always learning and evolving myself and adding new things to whatever I used to do. And so I love the word of the year as a concept. It's just beautiful to have an anchor for the year and something you come back to. And energetically, it feels, at least to me, so much more both grounding and spacious versus having like goals and resolutions. And, instead, if it's like this core value, this word that really matters to you, if you start to feel a little out of alignment some point during the year, a few months from now, you can come back to like, okay, wait, my word for the year was stillness. Let me do that now in this moment and then make this decision or then go into this activity. So it just becomes a really beautiful anchor. I also think just the process of how we receive our word of the year is a way that we're validating our own intuitive knowing and this other type of wisdom that's not just the rational, logical left brain. So there's something really magical about that, giving yourself permission to just be open and surrender and let a word come through rather than it being like what you think you need or what you think you want to have it be. So there's magic in that. Um, and then the archetypes is like whole next level that I've never done before. I've worked with my own spiritual teacher in the last year, and I called in an archetype for every quarter of the year. And then on New Year's Day this year, it was raining. We were in Tahoe, so we couldn't ski. And I went to a yoga class that was intention setting your sankalpa for the year, which is sort of like a little more than a word of the year. It's like a couple of words, a phrase that you're going to come back to. And then we grounded it in the body with yoga movement after we got the word, the sankalpa, which was really cool. And I had a whole thing that emerged, and I'll tell that story after the archetypes. But then basically, I realized what I really wanted was to have an archetype for the year. And the reason why I've gotten really into archetypes in the last year is because I think many of us would probably agree there's a lot of things in the world that don't feel like they're working these days and that seem, we might call them broken or dysfunctional or not serving the highest good of all beings. And I've really spent a lot of my life force energy the last several years being like, well, how do we create a different world? How do I create more of what I want to see in the world? And, a big part of that vision has been more female leaders and, more women in positions of power and things like that. And as I've wanted to create a new world, one of the things I've discovered is that archetypes are actually a really powerful way to do that because when we cultivate a new archetype, it's like a whole new way of being. And you might call in an archetype today that's not something you've ever read about or heard about. And it's sort of, to me, it's like that's a great way to imagine a new earth is to start to call in a new way of being in myself first and let me embody that. And then I'm going to bring that out into the broader world. So that's why I'm very excited to deepen in and do the archetypes today. Oh, so good to see some friendly faces. Hi, Josephine. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, let's see. Leslie said, Artemis came to me when I was going through chaos. She helped so much. Oh, amazing. I love that. Well, I was kind of tuning in and meditating this morning on the archetypes, and actually, Goddess Ganga is going to be coming in to work with you all to help you receive your archetypes. And I'm going to be doing a chant to call her in. So it's going to be pretty special. I hope. I think it will be. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first receive the word of the year, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about archetypes, and then we're going to go into that second piece. For those of you who just joined, I also said if you're able to be on camera, it's so nice to see your beautiful faces. Oh, hi, Laura. Good to see you here today. I haven't seen you in a while. So fun. This is like a reunion. Okay. And those of you who are new, who don't know me, I'm so excited to get to know you. All right. So we're going to begin. Hopefully you're somewhere where you won't be disturbed. I would recommend having a journal nearby, pen or paper at least, something to write on. And then it's funny because, as some of you know, I started kind of channeling the night that my mom died, just getting information in a new way. So now I hear voices in my head sometimes. They just talk to me, tell me things, and I've learned to listen to them. And I was gonna sage myself before I got on this call today. And then I heard, no, wait and sage everybody. And I've done this a couple of times lately where I've saged over Zoom. It seems kind of silly, but I mean, if there's no time and space, why not? So I'm just going to sage myself and all of you really quickly. And this is just a great way to cleanse. And when I do it, I'll do it like over my different chakras. And when I do this with clients, the same thing. I might sense like, oh, there's a lot going on in the throat chakra. And so we maybe just stay there a little longer, or a lot in the heart. And just do the whole body and the soles of the feet. Oh, I can feel some things in the back of the heart for me and the throat today. So I'm just spending a little more time there. And this is also a great way to really step into a ceremonial container. And I'm going to sage you all. It's actually really cool because I can see your faces, so I'm saging individual people. Oh, Beverly, I'm doing your crown chakra a lot. You're gonna be opening up. I know. She's like, yay. Karen, I feel your throat. Emily, your third eye. No, 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 no. Josephine, I feel your heart and the back of your heart. Mm. All right. I'm gonna stop calling out names because I'm doing it. I'm gonna go a little. Da, da, da. We got a few more folks joining. Oh, I love that people are like coming on camera to get saged. It's really cool. And you know what? While I'm doing this, you might want to light a candle if you have one in your space. It's just a beautiful way to create like a start to go into a ceremonial container. So if you have one, no, 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 no. It's funny. I've never saged so many people over Zoom. I've done it like one-on-one, and I just ashed on my computer, on my computer keyboard. The perils of saging over Zoom. I'm like, let me get my holder. Hold on. This is cracking me up, you all. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. I can feel a real difference. I don't know if you can. And even if you do, your mind might come in and be like, this is really weird. So if your mind is coming in and going, this is really weird, you can say, thank you, mind. You're welcome to be here too. All right. So let's go into the meditation. So I recommend sitting comfortably, uncrossing your legs, just resting your hands gently in your lap. And whenever you feel safe and comfortable, just allowing your eyes to gently close. Starting to arrive in this present moment. You can begin by focusing on the breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest or belly as you inhale and exhale. And with each inhale, I'd like for you to visualize or imagine that you're inhaling a calm, peaceful energy. And with each exhale, visualize or imagine that you're letting go of any tension or stress or worry that you've been holding on to, or fatigue. If you'd like, you can roll your neck or your shoulders, or even roll or move your jaw as you release tension. And then just coming back to a comfortable seated position. As you continue to inhale this calm, peaceful energy, you can visualize or imagine it filling your whole body, your whole being. And with each exhale, relaxing, releasing, letting go. And just for this little while that we do this today, have nothing to worry about. So enjoy the way that feels to not have anything to worry about. And enjoy the way it feels to have relaxation moving through the body as you continue to inhale this calm, peaceful energy. And with each exhale, letting it go, letting it all go. This is a luxury that very few people allow themselves to take a little time out of your busy day to just relax. So enjoy the way that feels to just relax, to not have anything to worry about. And anytime the mind wanders, think of your mind like a little puppy. If a puppy ran off to explore something, you wouldn't yank the leash to call the puppy back. You would gently guide the puppy back. So, doing the same thing with your mind, with your attention, anytime it wanders, gently guiding it back to the breath as you continue to inhale this calm, peaceful energy. As you exhale, letting go, letting it all go. Now, I'd like for you to think of whatever you consider to be one of the most beautiful and peaceful places in the world. I'd like for you to visualize or imagine yourself at this place, whatever you consider to be one of the most beautiful and peaceful places. It could be in the forest or the mountains. It could be by the ocean or a lake. It could be your favorite park bench or a special place you used to go when you were a child. It might even be your own backyard. Whatever you consider to be one of the most beautiful and peaceful places in the world. No worries in a place like that. You can look around and see the colors of all of the different plants or flowers near you. Feeling perhaps the warm sun on your skin. Hearing the sounds around you, maybe of birds chirping, or the rustling of leaves, or the crashing of waves. Noticing the different sounds and smells. Maybe even feeling a cool breeze on your skin. Just imagine yourself relaxing in this peaceful, beautiful place and beginning to tune in to your heart center. You can visualize or imagine the pulsing, beating heart. And to connect in with the heart, you can even place one or both hands on your heart and visualize or imagine perhaps a beam of sunlight from the sun that's beginning to illuminate your heart from the inside out. So it might start as this small little flame in the center of your heart. And with each inhale, that flame, that sunbeam gets bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter as you continue to relax in this peaceful place. This golden liquid, 24 karat golden light from the sun starts to fill your whole heart until your whole heart is beating with this beautiful golden light. And your heart is pumping this golden light through all the blood vessels of your body. And the golden light is spreading through every nerve, every tissue, every cell, filling your body with love and healing energy. filling all of your cells, the nucleus of your cells, the spaces between your cells with this beautiful golden light. And just take a couple of breaths into that. And as you stay connected with your heart center, connected in with this golden light inside of your heart, you'll just gently float the question, what is the word or value that I'm meant to focus on the most in the coming year? And sometimes it can help to even make that noise out loud. What word or value or quality of beingness am I meant to really focus in on in the coming year? And your mind might be reaching or grasping for a word, and that's okay. You can also just see or sense if you can lie back and surrender and receive it and have it just bubble up. What value or word or quality of beingness am I meant to focus on this year? And if the word isn't clear, that's all right. It might come to you today, it might come later. You can also visualize or imagine that there's a cloud up in the sky, and the cloud is coming closer and closer to wherever you are. And as the cloud approaches, you see that there's a word written on the cloud. This is a word for you to focus on in the coming year. So, whatever the word is, you can visualize or imagine. This is kind of funny, but what's coming through is that it's almost like either you're like eating the cloud, or there's like a sunbeam with your word that's beaming straight into your heart center. Almost like when you see someone writing something, but it's being written in like fire, like a handwritten brand that's occurring on your heart center. So you can feel into whether you want to work with the energy of water or the energy of fire. So if you're working with the energy of water, you can visualize or imagine the cloud. Maybe you're eating it. Maybe it's coming through your crown chakra. Maybe this soft, fluffy cloud is surrounding your whole body, and the molecules of it are going into the cells of your being, filling you with this word, this value, this quality for the coming year. If you feel called to work more with the fire, you can visualize or imagine a sunbeam that's kind of branding your heart center with the word. You can also just allow your own mind, your own knowing to help. Perhaps there's one of the four elements that wants to help you embody the word for the year. So it could be the element of water or the element of fire, but it could also be the element of air, so the wind maybe, or the element of earth. Maybe your word will be drawn on the earth and you'll lie down and make like snow angels in the dirt. So just allow it to go wherever it wants to go as you call in one of the four elements to support you in embodying this word more fully and receiving it in your beingness. I say yes to receiving this word in every cell of my being, across all timelines, all dimensions, throughout the multiverse and beyond. And visualizing or imagining yourself now in a bubble 5 feet in all directions, made up of this word. So 5 feet in front of you, cha cha cha. This word, this value, this quality of beingness. 5 feet behind you, cha cha cha. 5 feet to your left, cha cha cha. 5 feet to your right, cha cha cha. 5 feet above you, cha cha cha. And 5 feet below you, cha cha cha. So you're now surrounded 5 feet in all directions in a bubble of this word, this value, this quality of beingness that you most want to cultivate in the coming year. And visualize or imagine yourself now going about your year, going about your days, surrounded in this bubble with this word. Maybe see or sense or imagine yourself laughing with friends, surrounded in this bubble with this word. See or sense yourself in the coming year, perhaps at work, surrounded in a bubble of this word. What might that look like or feel like? How might you behave differently? See or sense or imagine yourself perhaps running errands, going to the grocery store, unloading the dishwasher, cleaning the kitchen, surrounded in a bubble of this word. What might that look like or feel like? See or sense or imagine yourself moving your body, maybe doing something active, surrounded in a bubble of this word. Imagine yourself, perhaps with a loved one, surrounded in a bubble of this word. Breathing that in to every cell of your being. You might even see or sense or imagine yourself in a bit of a difficult situation in the coming year, maybe having an altercation, a difficult conversation, some sort of a conflict. And you're surrounded by that bubble with that word. You're embodying that quality of beingness. How might you show up differently in that difficult moment? Might see or sense or imagine yourself interacting with someone that you feel somewhat neutral about or that you don't know very well. Perhaps the clerk at the grocery store, a stranger. And imagine yourself again surrounded by that bubble with that word. How might that look or feel? And then take a moment and visualize or imagine anything else that you have that might come up in the coming year. And see or sense or imagine yourself surrounded again in that bubble with that word, that value, that quality of beingness. What might that look like or feel like? Finally, visualize or imagine yourself on December 31st, 2026, the end of this year, looking back on the year going, wow, that was a really great year. So many beautiful moments, so many wonderful things happened, so much love, connection, joy. You reflect back on the year, still surrounded in this bubble with that word, that quality of beingness. And as you reflect back, you notice all the moments, all the times when that word served you, when you embodied it, when maybe that word even tapped you on the shoulder to remind you of its importance. And you reflect back on the year, feeling really proud of yourself, the life that you've created, the friendships and the relationships that you've called in, the experiences that you've had, the gratitude and the moments of joy for all the beauty and the wonder around you. So, as you're ready, starting to come back to the present moment, you can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to notice the sounds inside the room and outside the room. Whenever you're ready, allow your eyes to gently open and maybe just take a minute or two and journal anything you notice, anything that happened during that meditation. So we'll just take another minute or so to jot down some notes, anything, any information you received. And if you'd like, you can share your word in the chat. It's always fun to see all the words. We have truth, stillness, open, serenity, courage, transformation, centered, spacious. Oh, these are so fun to read. Loveliness, ooh, calmness, love, calm, a combination of play and calm. Oh, I love it. You made up a new word, Josie. That's very cool. Playful, exuberance, courage, gratitude. So fun. Um, Beautiful. So I'm going to put you all into breakouts to just share a little bit about what was that like for you? What did you notice in the meditation? What's your word? How are you feeling about it? Um, and just share a little bit about it. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go for about 7 minutes total. And some of the rooms will have two people and some will have three. So you'll be sharing for about at least 2 minutes per person. Okay, so you should see an option to join a breakout room now. Going. Okay. Well, I'm excited for we're going to move into the archetype next. So we're going to deepen into something else. I'm going to wait for folks to come back from the breakout. All the rooms are going to close in like a few seconds. Anne and Vanessa, welcome back. Anne, what was your word? You're so cute in your hat. Oh, you're muted. I love your yellow sweater too.
There we go. I'm unmuted. My word was jump.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever heard jump. That's fun.
Yeah, it
Did
was.
it resonate for
It
you?
it did actually. And then talking to Vanessa about it was really great. It was written in fire, the same way that you described before you described it. And
Okay, I just got chills when you said that. That's crazy.
I know, I know. And Vanessa and I talked about it, and yeah, I really enjoyed her thoughts on it. So thank you.
Mm, very cool. Yeah, it's so interesting because a couple of years ago when I led this meditation, the elements came through to bring the words in, and I was not planning on doing anything with the elements today. And then I heard like eat a cloud, and I was like, that's weird. And then I saw the fire like branding a heart, and I was like, oh, the elements are coming through
They're
again.
coming, yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny how these things unfold. Well, wonderful. I feel like this is such a beautiful, special community. I can feel all your wonderful energies. And so I'm excited and happy that you all get to connect and deepen in with each other. Um, and what we're going to do next is go into the archetype. And so let me share a couple quick stories, and then I'm going to be calling in Goddess Ganga to support you in receiving your archetype. Um, my husband and I went through a really hard period in our marriage 4 or 5 years ago. And we ended up doing like a couples retreat with my spiritual teacher, Marta Maria, up in Mount Shasta. And one of the things we talked about was the archetype or the role of wife and husband. And I don't know about you all, when I say the word wife, I just feel like all this like 1950s, like just pressure. I see myself stuck in a kitchen. I see myself serving everyone but myself. And if you think about these roles, these archetypes, these larger ways of being, basically there are all these currents of consciousness that have gotten attached to the word wife and the word husband, where they now mean certain things based on the collective consciousness and all these currents of consciousness. And so that when we step into those roles, even if we don't agree with all those ways of being, there are all these currents of consciousness that come with the role or the word. There's a whole belief structure that we're essentially opting into sub unconsciously, even if we certain parts of it we don't consciously agree with. And what we ended up doing on that weekend was we let go of those roles, my husband and I, and we actually called in new archetypes. And we each chose our own. And I wanted to be goddess in the relationship. And my husband, what resonated for him was king, but not king as in like he's serving over me. It was this very like beautiful royal experience that we had. And so we did a whole ceremony to then step into these archetypes. And I'm not saying it like fixed our whole marriage forever because we still have lots of stuff we're working through. But it was a major shift actually for us when we got back from that weekend. Um, and I really felt like I felt all this new possibility. If I'm goddess and I'm not wife, like it was a whole different energy state that I started to embody in my partnership. And now I've been doing it with my work. So last year, as I mentioned, I called in an archetype for every quarter. And in the first quarter, I called in fierce spiritual businesswoman. It's like, what does that even mean? I've never even seen one of those. I don't even know what that is, but that's what I want to be. So the archetype can be this larger way of being that you want to step into in the coming year. And for me in 2026, I went to this yoga class to get a sankalpa. And what came through, I've been really working on in myself, actually accessing the sweetness of my being, how I'm like a really sweet person. But I really, as a child, I armored up so much, and then I was in these very male dominated environments where I had to be like, burr, 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 I'm so tough. And so there's a way in which I have not really allowed my own sweetness to shine through. And so that was something I really wanted to embody in the coming year that came through. And then also a fierceness around the heart. I've recently had to also set some serious boundaries with some people in my life. And so the thing I was wanting to cultivate in 2026 was this combination of being sweet, but also fierce at the same time. And what came through for my archetype when I did my own ceremony around it was that I am a sweet warrior of the heart. And I just love that so much. And so when I'm wanting to set boundaries with people, like being really fierce, I come back to this, I'm a sweet warrior of the heart because I am fucking taking a stand for love. You know, I'm like I will be a warrior of the heart in a, you know, and access my sweetness. And so for me, that archetype, it speaks so much about what I want to move into in the coming year. And so I want to just give that as an example. You know, my word for the year that came through today was stillness. So it's not necessarily like your archetype may or may not have anything to do with the word, and just allow yourself to be open. I was also playing with the word sweet and fierce. So it kind of like brought some things together. So it might be different. It might be a way that links everything. But I just want you to give yourself permission for it to be something that you've never heard of before, that doesn't yet exist really on the earth. Because I personally feel like that's how we're going to create a new earth, is when we start to cultivate new archetypes and new ways of being. Then we can start to build whole new structures of how we do business, how we do life. So I'm really hopeful this is going to support you in doing the same thing. And I was told to call in Goddess Ganga. So I was initiated with Goddess Ganga maybe a couple years ago, through a chant. And Goddess Ganga comes from the Ganges River in India. And there's a chant I'm going to be doing that will bring her in. And she's known to be very cleansing. And again, it's funny, I didn't even think about this, but the elements, once again, it's really, so the river, the Ganges River, it's really the water element. So I'm going to call her in, and then I'm going to do this chant, this Goddess Ganga chant. And it's going to be to cleanse you of whatever you're ready to let go of. Maybe that's some of the old roles or ways of being. And then for you to receive your archetype for the coming year and just let it come through. And also, like mine, I was trying to access it in this yoga class and it didn't really come through. And then, like 3 weeks later, I got it. So, we're also just planting the seed right now for you to receive your archetype. And you might not quite, you might get close to it. You'll have like some words, or you'll be like, it's not quite there. And then you might be on like a walk or a hike in 3 days and be like, boom, it lands. And usually when it comes in, you know it. You're like, oh, this is this is it. And you can kind of feel when it's close, but not quite. So just receive whatever you're meant to receive today. Maybe some of you are meant to just get the cleansing from Goddess Ganga, and others will have more clarity on the archetype. But you're just going to receive. And what I find about chants is that they can help you just relax, and it can put you in a more receptive mode. So if you want to even lie down for this portion, you can sit up, but you're going to have your eyes closed and just receive. So whenever you're ready, just allow your eyes to gently close again. And if you want to go off camera and lie down, that's totally fine. Sometimes I feel like that helps me get into a whole more altered state. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to align. I, Vanessa Loder, align with the light of love, wisdom, and truth. I align with my highest self and solar angel consciousness. And I open my heart to all these beautiful women and those who might watch the recording, who are also aligning with the light of love, wisdom, and truth, and with their highest selves and solar angel consciousness. I call in my spirit guides and their spirit guides acting our highest good to join us. Mother Mary and Isis. And we invite in Goddess Ganga. Support these women in cleansing and clearing whatever they're ready to shed, this old skin they're ready to let go of and release, old belief structures, old ways of being that no longer serve them. And then support them in calling in a new archetype, a new way of being that they'd like to cultivate in the coming year. Om Shri Gangaya Namaha. 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 So starting to arrive back in this present moment, perhaps wiggling your fingers and your toes, noticing the sounds inside the room or outside the room. As you're ready, allowing your eyes to gently open. If you want to share any archetype or any information you received in the chat or just by unmuting yourself, you can. It's interesting. I'm noticing we branded the heart with our word of the year and fire, and the sun is like drawing a line on my heart right now. Oh, you're so welcome, everyone. Oh, thank you, Goddess Vanessa. Hey, I like seeing that. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I know we're almost at time. I'm going to stay on the line if folks want to chat or have questions. I also wanted to just share my dear friend and colleague, Karisten, and I are offering a 6-week breathwork intensive that starts January 22nd. Breathwork is amazing and so powerful and so transformative. I'm really into it. So there's more information. I just put the link in the chat. We have a early bird discount that expires tonight at midnight. So if you're going to join, I would sign up before end of day today. Okay, Jennifer, unafraid, candlelit traveler. Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It came together, and I was trying not to overthink what it meant. But um, something about the candlelit felt like it was something about being connected to something higher, as well as constantly feeling that glow inside and spreading that glow inside, and almost the traveler part somewhat felt like a hummingbird too. Like,
Mm.
wherever you drop in. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway.
I feel the energy of it. And when you talk about the being connected to something higher, I really felt that. I got like whole body goosebumps. Yeah. Yeah. And the interesting thing, some of the archetypes that's come through for me, my mind is like, what? You know, like it doesn't totally make sense. But if you just feel the energy of it, it feels wonderful.
Hmm.
So it's really about cultivating an energy, a quality of beingness, ultimately. And so that's
Yeah. And now that just listening to you, the word traveler may also have had something to do with keeping the energy moving. And it may not necessarily be so much of a physically traveling, but
yeah.
just keeping things in motion. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
interesting to
Thank you for
play
sharing.
with.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share what came through for you, what you noticed? What was that like? Yes, Josie, yes.
Had a kind of a not so great word come to mind, and I'm wondering how that fits into it. The word that came to mind was judgmental, and I'm trying. I don't like
Like, wait a minute.
some of it, so I just want to get your thoughts maybe on that type of excuse me word that comes through that is not so positive.
The
Yeah.
connotation with it. Yeah, interesting. I mean, when you said it, I saw like like the importance sometimes of like sifting through, like, not right and wrong, but kind of, and like a judge with a gavel. And that sometimes like we need that, like, no, this is not okay. And, I mean, perhaps, and when I try to go to a more like gentle way of saying it, like discernment, maybe it feels important that it has almost I know what you mean. There's almost like a harshness to the word, like a judge, but it feels also somehow appropriate. Does it feel like there's like I just see like a sifting between things and sorting, like this goes over here and that goes over there. Whether you want to call that, right and wrong or not, but there's just this real sense of the importance of like sifting, like this goes over here and that goes over there. That's what I feel around it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, just, like questioning opening up why I am judgmental, or why when I am judgmental, what does that mean? What is feeding my judgmentalness? So
Hmm.
it's a kind of an inquiry.
Yeah. And also, like, what if judgment, if you think of it originally, right, is like it's a level of like discernment, having
Mm,
good judgment, being able to see clearly and see the truth and see, so I think I'm wondering, I find myself curious if it's a reclaiming of the word, without not all those negative connotations. And if you see in the chat, a lot of people are reflecting back around boundaries, setting boundaries, and the sharpness of the word felt right. Yeah. Could also mean knowing yourself, getting clarity on what lands well with you and what doesn't, like
yeah.
having judgment to see clearly.
Hmm. Yeah, it helps that I see the people in the chat. Thank you
Yeah.
for helping me through
I mean,
this.
it's sort of like meta, but there's like a judgment about the word judgment, But it's sort of, and I see also an image of, I don't know why, but like an axe or a sword being forged in fire where it and slicing through things. There's just a really clear, like the importance of being able to like slice through and be like this and that. And so I find myself curious about for you if there's something in reclaiming it. Like even for me, I might say I had a judgment about the word like sweetness being weak or being saccharine or being sweet. I had a lot of, if you'd asked me several years ago about sweet, I would have like rolled my eyes a little bit perhaps. And some of that was maybe not wanting to claim the sweetness of my being that's there, that's an intrinsic part of me. And I'm just wondering about you claiming the clear judgment, the clear seeing, the clear boundaries, the clear knowing, for yourself. It's sort of like it gets masked by the negative parts of judgment or the negative connotations, but there's like inside of it, there's something really important and valuable for you to
Yeah,
claim. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Who else wants to share what arrived for you or what you noticed or experienced?
I'm
I
happy to
uh,
share. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. You.
Okay, well, mine was quite weird, as in when I started the meditation in view, I had this image or image sort of forming of like a little devil in front of me. And
Mm.
immediately I started to be this warrior goddess that just wanted to slay the devil, and that went and just says vanquish and just eliminate, and then becoming that amazing ball of energy that just wanted to just disperse it at all the ways of the universe.
Mm.
So it's it was and really almost scary, and like it was like the fear of just pushing the fear away and just vanquishing the fear. It wasn't hiding from it. It was literally confronting it and say, I don't want any of this near anyone in my life. You just go away. I wasn't expecting that at all. So there's this goddess warrior of
Mm.
light that is vanquishing evil, which I
Mm.
have no idea what it means. but it was just yeah, that's what came through.
Wow. Wow. So I can see it and feel it as you describe it. Yeah. So you can try on for the archetype, things like I am a vanquishing goddess of light.
Yeah.
And just notice how does that feel? Or just I am a goddess of light, yeah, I don't know. You can so play around with what the description of that might be.
Yeah. And don't know if it's goddess or warrior. It's like the Amazons type of like, but
Yeah.
yeah, because there's this power of energy and light. It's like, yeah, it's
I
but
can feel it as you describe me. You're doing this a lot. It's cool.
yes, I'm like expansion, and it's interesting because my word was breakthrough.
Ah,
So
that's
there's a
really feels,
theme.
yeah,
It feels like coming into my full power
yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
slaying stuff. I don't know. Yes, there's definitely something there.
That feels really good and important and powerful. And yes, please. I
Yeah.
want more women like that in the world, vanquishing goddesses of light. Yes,
I
please.
know, but it was very weird because the first thing that came was this image of this devil, and I was like, what the fuck? Sorry, and but I was like, but I'm not scared of that. I'm like, you need to fuck off, basically, and I was so enraged at seeing. I was just there was this fury and this energy to
Yeah.
like just tell all that bad energy to say now it's over and you're going away, no more. Yeah.
Love it. I mean, if we think about some of the goddesses, Kali, there are goddesses of just there's power in feminine rage and
Yes.
destruction and like,
Yeah.
no, I will
Yeah.
not abide by this.
Yeah.
And so that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Someone else was speaking at the same time. Was it Vanessa, right?
Yes. Hi, Vanessa. Hello, ladies.
Hello,
Thank you.
bonsoir, bonjour.
Yeah,
What time?
bonsoir. Thank you so much for that. For me, I connected a lot. My word is truth. And I was the fact you talk about goddess and that I connected with the goddess of truth. I was investigating and apparently it's veritas. And in French, it's vérité, the truth. So it's funny, the Latin root. And yes, I can sense, and I was looking, now a picture of her, and I really feel that connection. And I don't know, I can't explain. There is really this drawing, and it was as well about truth in Roman. It was like what the word I wrote you as well. What was it again? Atlaya, I don't know. And apparently it's as well about unraveling. So I like that about unraveling the thing.
Unraveling. Oh, I
So,
love it.
mm, so
Goddess of
thank you so
truth.
much, Vanessa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I see like a big white sword too of like the sword of truth and goddess of truth. That's
Mm.
beautiful. Very cool. Anyone else want to share? And it's okay if your archetype, if it didn't come through today. Sometimes it takes a while. I don't know why, but it doesn't always arrive right when we want it to. So, you can just, if you didn't have clarity on it today, you can set the intention that it will be coming in the coming days or weeks. And I recommend spending time in nature or meditating and just saying, I'm open to receiving it and just let yourself be surprised by what shows up. Yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts or questions? I was focused on chanting with you. I love it.
Yes, who's the picture in the background? It looks like Isis and a goddess or something.
It's so interesting. Yes, it's Goddess Isis leading Queen Nefertari. So one of my good friends, I've been working with Isis for years, and one of my good friends in my community didn't even know that. And she went to Egypt and she brought that back for me from Egypt for my birthday a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh, I love it. I was like, did you know that I've been working with Isis and talking to her? And she was like, no. So yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a little close up. Well, the light's kind of reflecting on it, but anyway, yeah, straight from Egypt.
Yeah.
My little home in Lafayette. Okay, so people are just saying yes. What questions would you recommend we keep asking ourselves to get clarity on our archetype? Um, when I say that, what I hear is maybe do the chant or listen to the chant. Um, because there's something about asking questions that might be putting you in your mind and trying to force it. And so, and then also just so I can, we'll send out in the notes the spelling of the chant. Um, so like written out so that you can see how it, like do it on your own if you want. Um, but yeah, that's what I hear is to just listen to the chant. So you could like listen to that section of the recording. Maybe I'll have Robin put in the notes like what minute that starts at, or maybe we'll break it out separately in the recording that we send out so you don't have to listen to this whole thing. Or you can just do the chant on your own. I'm also hearing, sensing that like some of you pay attention to your environment because a word or a phrase might come to you. Like you might see it on a sign or read it in a book or like literally on a billboard, you know? So just being open to the unified field and what is coming into the field for you. Yeah. And, sometimes for me, it was almost like 2 months later that something would come in. And so perhaps, and it was sort of like sometimes I was judging myself, like, was I not like spiritually ready enough or evolved enough to receive my archetype? But then what ended up a couple times, it was one of the archetypes, it was like other things on the earth had to like line up before I could receive that archetype, if that makes sense. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but so maybe because in some ways I have felt like these archetypes are really big and they're really powerful. And so sometimes I need to be like clearing things out of my system and then or it's like there's something that's happening in the world that's all lining up and then it's like boom, now you get it. One of mine, I couldn't get it. And I was like, but I'm in a group with our teacher where we were getting one every quarter, and it was like everybody else got theirs for the quarter, and I still don't have mine, and I feel like the student who's failing, a little bit. I mean, it was small, it wasn't a big, and then I went on a trip for work to Rio in Brazil, and I was in the taxi from the airport to my hotel, and I saw this jungle in the mountain, and just like started going into ceremony, and the archetype came right in. And there was something for me about me being on that land that was important for me to receive the archetype then. So it might even be like you take a trip somewhere and you're in a different location and the energy of that land, for whatever reason, it's like that's when the archetype comes in. So some of these things I feel are way beyond the understanding of my little human mind. But I can feel the truth and the power of them. And so, in your own way, honoring and trusting that it doesn't mean like you're not doing this right. It doesn't mean that you're not as like, advanced as everyone else if yours didn't come through today. Just trusting that you'll receive it when you're meant to receive it. Yeah.
I want to share
Leslie.
something. Yeah.
Yes, please.
For me, I think it's part question, part maybe confirming it for myself. Because the vision for me came before the meditation, and I was breastfeeding my daughter to put her to sleep, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but the word I'm sorry, imagine like a female dog feeding her puppies, and the word that came for me was bitch. And I'm sorry if this is offensive, but like then I went into my brain thinking, okay, because in context of what's happening in my life is that fear of visibility and being that person who did two incredible summits, but is so afraid to have her voice and add her voice, to the public sphere. And I know what's holding me back, but it's that idea of like embracing my inner bitch type of thing, like not caring what other people think. It's not the best expression, but it's what came to me. So it was before the meditation. So part of me is like questioning whether that's sort of like a vision or because it just came, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I'm in my mind thinking, okay, which archetypes fit into this idea of like not caring and then just going for that. Oh, my baby's crying. I gotta go get her. But I
I
think I made
love
my
it. I
point.
feel like it's a reclaiming of a word that got distorted. Think of how culture took a word that meant like a dog nursing its puppies and turned it into something really negative. And ultimately, so it feels like a reclaiming of female power, the way you described it to me. And I get like,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, and it feels important, perhaps. I mean, you sit with it, but that it is that word, and that you don't try to tone it down or nice it up or soften it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I've been trying to do with my voice is to like I can't show up raw for some reason and I have so much to share, but it's just I'm struggling with that. So like it's interesting. Okay, so I will take that as a I'm gonna
And
play
also,
around with it. How do I get out
yeah,
of my
and
head though?
the strength of a nursing mom, right? Like that was like that's so it's really interesting to me that you got that visual and you were nursing your baby and then that word and then your voice and wanting. I mean, it feels really clear when you describe it. Yeah, bitch as maternal warrior, Beverly
Ooh,
said.
I love that.
Bitch is confident. Bitch, the new archetype. Yes. I know. I love it. Yeah. So it's a very powerful word. It has a lot of strength to it, and when I marry in my mind saying that word with imagining a dog nursing its puppies, it's like a very cool, like, whoa, feminine power in a new way. So yeah. Um, Beautiful. It's interesting with that and the judgment. There's like some interesting sort of reclaiming of things that were perhaps distorted. All right. Anyone else want to share anything that came through for you or any other questions?
This
All
has been
right.
really nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's good to see you here, Barbara. I love your drawing too. That's your profile or your painting.
Well, thank
Um,
you.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you all for joining me. I did this because someone emailed me actually and was like, "Are you going to do that meditation for the word of the year?" So I do read your emails. I do respond to your requests. And it's just such a pleasure to be here with each of you, to see your beautiful faces, to support you in calling through whatever it is that you desire in the coming year, and maybe even in calling in something that's like larger forces are wanting you to step into. So I get excited about that as a concept. We need more judgmental bitches. Oh, Anne said, "What is the book soul behind you?" That's my book. Subtle self-promotion. I wrote this book, The Soul Solution. You can find it on Amazon, on my website. And I really hope to see some of you in the 6-week breathwork program. It's going to be amazing. We're going to teach you some really awesome daily practices to really what we're doing for the first time is combining breath work with rewiring statements that are designed specifically for women to counteract some of the messaging we've gotten from culture. And so we're going to be doing breath work to get into a very expanded state of consciousness, to relax your nervous system, to get really clear and open, and then do these rewiring statements layered in. So, and my colleague in at Karsten is a tenured professor at Harvard, and she's one of the leading trauma researchers in the country. And she's an amazing breathwork teacher as well. So it's going to be an incredible 6 weeks. I know, Jennifer, you're joining us. I'm excited.
Mhm. And I can also just say I've known Kirsten for a few years, and she's wonderful. So I'm really excited to participate. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Yay.
Can you
All
put
right.
the link in the chat? Can you put the link in the chat
Oh,
for
yes,
the
I
the
did.
program?
Let me put it,
Oh, is it? Okay.
but it was,
Thanks.
it gets so high up. So I just
Good.
repasted it.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll email.
Vanessa, this is Lala. This is Lala. I just wanted to thank you for this meditation. Truly, thank you very much. It was great.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. What did you like about it? The word or the archetype, or what was your experience?
Well, I enjoy your meditations always. I meditate daily, but with your experiences, I have different messages coming through. So the word of the year and the archetypes and everything. So I
Mm.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Oh, and Beverly, I like how you capitalize sweetness. Thank you. I receive it. I receive it. All right. Yeah, nervous system repair and rewiring, right? Don't we all? I know. Okay, ladies. Well, it's been a pleasure. I'm excited for you to embody your word and cultivate and step into your archetype in the coming year. Please reach out if you have any questions or need any other support. Sending you all lots of love, and I hope you have just a tremendous, wonderful, joyful, ecstatic 2026. I want to like reread all your words and say a courageous, a serenity, open, transformation, centered, spacious, jump, loveliness, abundance, calmness, palm, playful, exuberance, courage, gratitude, connection, breakthrough, relax. I hope you have all of that in 2026 and more. All right. Lots of love, everyone.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.